Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here. As always, I appreciate you guys, and welcome to the first NFL Sunday. And I'm looking forward to getting back. DMV is going to be back over, and I'm curious to talk to DMV because DMV, when they traded away Micah, he said he's done with this team. He's out. How could we do something so stupid and stuff? I want to get his perspective and things. Huh? Well,
he has to get Torazon in his back just to
again
play part-time.
My first reaction to Micah Parsons, and people stop talking about Micah Parsons. It's like, look, you have to look at you can't just ignore it, because this may be the moment that the Cowboys actually change how they're doing business. And that's where everybody's going through. They got rid of their best player. Cowboy fans are in mourning. But see, I would be a hypocrite if I were in mourning, because I've always said that we can't continue to do the same thing over and over again, because literally we have done the same thing over and over again with signing our big name players and ignoring all the other stuff. We've never thought about defensive tackle. The fact for the first time you're hearing Jerry Jones saying we got to stop the run is an awakening. So Mike, I know that you were kind of pissed off at the Cowboys. Did that game at least give you some hope to say I'm gonna check them out? I mean, I know you were passing there because you're dropping the F-bombs like crazy and everything else.
Yeah, CD Lamb, same problem he had at the beginning of last season.
You getting upset like that says that you actually care. That's what that says. That says that you are invested back in being a Cowboy fan. You're nodding your head like you're not. So
CD Lamb to catch those balls.
Yeah, he does need
110 yards don't mean nothing if you can't pick up the plays that.
That's on you, CD. That's on you. Okay. I didn't hear you saying that on CD. I know you throw Dak under the bus real quick. So here's the thing.
It wasn't Dak's.
Yeah, no, we're going to be.
It wasn't Dak's fault that CD couldn't catch the ball.
Okay. All right.
He threw him some good balls.
We're going to be watching the full slate of NFL games. I really need to go ahead and make myself another pot of coffee. I think, Mike, you're going to be working, like you said, on your room and thing, your suite. And DMV, David Wiley is on lockdown. His wife's like, oh hell no, you stay at home this Sunday. So it'll be a quiet Sunday, but we will be streaming. I'm going to try and go ahead and go all the way until 11 o'clock tonight. That's 10 hours of coverage. And we're going light as far as food-wise. I got some glizzies that I'll cook some glizzies real quick. And since I had the pulled pork, we're going to do some Cuban sandwiches, okay? Because I got the mini Cuban, not big ones, mini Cuban subs. You got the melted Swiss cheese on there. You got ham that's been grilled. You got the barbecue. You got mustard. And you got dill pickles. They're good, ain't they? And I got to say, I cooked 3 pork shoulders. 3 pork shoulders, okay? And I said, man, I'll cook 3 of them. I'll put some in the freezer. I'll have some to go, later on. Now, I just went by my mama's house, and I dropped her off some pulled pork, too, because I got to take care of mama. And some of David Wiley's potato salad. But all the beans were eaten up, so I couldn't take her the beans, because she loves David Wiley's beans. And my mom was canning tomatoes, string beans, and making jelly. And she is 84 years old. Still out there gardening and doing that stuff and eating well. And my brother is growing saffron. So I'll tell y'all about saffron. But saffron, that shit is like worth its weight in gold, literally. $100 for $1,000. It's like, damn. But anyway, what I really want to talk about is shoddy shots. Michael Irvin went off when we hired Brian Schottenheimer, right? Most people laughed at the Cowboys. The Cowboys hired Brian Schottenheimer. He's never been a head coach. He hasn't been a candidate or anything else. The typical Dallas Cowboy move. We've had ESPN say that the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff is about the 5th worst in the NFL, right? Michael Irvin literally went off, okay? Michael Irvin, you had an opportunity. You should have went ahead and got Deion Sanders and stuff. I don't know anything about Brian Schottenheimer, but this is a mistake, right? That's what we got.
Deion says better in college.
Well, but then Deion all summer he's been dealing with cancer and stuff. So would he have been, if we had hired Dion, would he have been able to focus the time to get this team together over the summer? Because there's so much work and planning that has to go through the summer, evaluating the players and things. And, you're sitting here dealing with cancer. Remember, he went ahead and made his will out because he didn't know that he was going to make it or not. And
it was aggressive, too.
That's what I'm saying. It was aggressive. So had we hired Dion, in retrospect, you might not have gotten prime time really able to do the job. Now, a lot of people equated, Brian Schottenheimer with Dave Campo. Oh, this is going to be the Dave Campo years, man. This idiot. But I said, listen, he's been on both sides of the fence as far as an offense goes. He's got a pedigree because of his dad. People point out, well, his dad never won the Super Bowl. Yeah, but I tell you what, you had very physical teams that could run the football. When I think of Barry Word and Christian Okoye, they're some of the biggest, meanest running backs you've ever seen in your life. Go back and check that shit out. You got a pedigree. You got a guy who had Mark Sanchez as a quarterback. Granted, they had a great defense too, but was able to take that offense of Mark Sanchez, a.k.a. Bud Fumble, and get to the AFC Championship game twice, right? With the number one running offense. He went to Seattle, was offensive coordinator for 4 years, when Russell Wilson used to cook, okay? Before he started burning shit, Brian Schottenheimer was the quarterback, was the offensive coordinator. And you were having Russell Wilson with like 4,000 yards and 40 TD passes and like 10, 11 interceptions, and having one of the better rushing attacks at the same time. So I said, as far as the X's and O's go, shotty shots, you got to give the man a chance. And he knew Dak Prescott's strengths and weaknesses. Now, we didn't win the game. But you know something that we didn't have a problem with, that we had quite often with Mike McCarthy? Clock management. We had 51 seconds, right? Before the half. We go down the field, we get in field goal range, we kick a field goal. Boom. You know something else that we didn't have with Mike McCarthy? Second half adjustments. The Dallas Cowboys defense was getting mollywopped the first half. They were having a hard time stopping it. Second half, they made adjustments and only gave up 3 points to the Seattle Seahawks. In fact, they held Saquon Barkley to 3.3 yards a carry? 60 yards? And on his last 7 rushes, Saquon had 1 yard in 7 carries. Not 1 yard average. He had 1 yard. Those are things that you look at and say, well, maybe the coaching staff did a pretty good job. Because you can't look at it and say that the Cowboys were loaded across the board with talent. You just gave away your best player. So I ask you guys, are you coming back in line with the Dallas Cowboys and thinking, maybe this is a team I can get? No? I see you shaking it. What? You think it's going to be the same old Cowboys?
We'll wait and see.
We will wait and see. Well, okay, so we will watch and see, or we'll wait and see?
I mean, you did lose the first game.
Yeah, but you know what? I remember being in Dallas when it was like 38-6 there, okay? And seeing my team literally do absolutely, positively nothing, okay? Seeing them literally putrid, okay? At home. If you can play that well, just getting back, Diggs and Guyton, knowing that you're going to get a guy like Overshown, okay? That's like making a major trade if he comes back. That's a major boost and shot in the arm. You're going to end up getting a young stud in Savon Ravel, cornerback that's going to be added to the mix. Right? And I dare say that Overshown was as big an impact for the Cowboys as Micah Parsons was last year. And if he comes back healthy, that's a major boost for that defense. You're still not buying in, huh? I have a lot of hope for of this team, okay? I still recognize, here's what I recognize. We're still a young team. We're going to make mistakes. We're the third youngest team in the NFL. We still have a brand new coaching staff, okay, that's still getting their feet wet. There's going to be bad days, okay? Mama said, my mama said there's going to be bad days in there. There's no doubt about that. But you should at least feel better about the team, and with the question marks that we had, we are better in the interior defensive line right now than we've been in a couple of years. And unfortunately, Mozzie Smith ain't part of it. He was a healthy scratch. Healthy scratch. You got money, and you got 2 number 1 draft picks next year. So we will be, actually, hell, so think about it. We'll be at the draft the next 2 years because it's in D.C. the year after. We'll be able to see live the Cowboys draft 4 first-round picks. So that should give you the most hope that you have. And I dare say, my quarterback, bro, forget the bullshit that you get from people like Leo. Okay, that's right, I'm going after Leo. He talks too damn much, okay? That, oh, your quarterback didn't win, he sucks. Bro, if Dak Prescott keeps hitting guys like that against your team on the road and literally being able to stare down a mother humper and make them literally get kicked out the game, I want you to understand, Dak Prescott has no fear of you mother humpers. I don't know that Daniel Jones goes up to a guy like that. Do you think that happens? I don't think people are going to go up and poke the bear like Dak Prescott did. Dak Prescott poked the bear, and the bear fucked up, okay? He poked the bear, and the bear fucked up. And it might hurt you. Now, I know that they're saying that, oh, there won't be the suspensions. Don't be surprised if they slap him for a few games because of past transgressions. And to show you that I am fair and practice what I preach, there should be a fine for Tyler Guyton's headshot. There's no place for that in the NFL, guys. Okay? There was no need for it. He's lucky that he didn't get a personal foul in the game, but he deserves to be punished for it. So don't come at me and say, oh yeah, you just ignored the shit that the Cowboys did because they the Cowboys. No, it was wrong 100%. Wouldn't you agree? You don't agree. Okay. All right. So we are about an hour away from takeoff for week number 1, and we'll be back at the man cave to get it on. Peace. Excuse me. I was trying to get it out before I sneezed. I was trying to. I came close.